right. Check deze story, een Faya story. Zo één dat je nooit had gehoord. Check deze story, die Scappa story. Zo één dat nog nooit was verwoord. Hij verkocht Mori, twee doos op Mori. Maar zij ging er toch wel vandoor. Hij verkocht Mori, oogstend naar haar Mori. Maar zij gaf daaraan geen gehoor. Hij verkocht Mori, dan schold het Mori. Maar zij ging er lang niet meer voor. Hij verkocht Mori, zwetend door zijn Mori. Toen ze ging had hij daarvoor geen woord. Maar chill.
Want al gas van door, er is een andere wil.
Ja, chill.
Want al gas van door, je weet niet wat ze wil.
Hey, chill.
Na al gas van door, je slinkt die betere pil.
Hey,
Die al gas van door, er is een andere wil. Die al gas van door, je weet niet wat ze wil. Want al gas van door, je slinkt die betere pil.
Lieve West-Murray voelde zich lully en raakte alleen maar gestoord. Alles was yummy, voelt zich nou dummy door al die shit wat die verloor. Op bed als mummy, midden in juni, midden zomer, maar toch gaat die goed. Door een gully, woeling aan Shirley. Doe maar of je niets hebt gehoord van deze story. Een Faya story, zo harde, maar het leven is een harde te zwaar. Sinds Balkenende is het alleen maar een lende, een bende. Vroeger kon je wenden, nu geld dingen met rente voor de euro. Wist ik hoeveel ik spende, cadeautjes kon je zenden. Vele gezinnen eten nu pap met krenten. Al die vette pensen, hebben wat ze wensen. En denken niet aan mensen, rijden in een band niet op Mercedes Benzen. Nu nooit op ik grenzen, 2000 aan mijn middelprinsen. De dansen, ze kennen geen grenzen. Les kan je venten, het leven is gewoon rocker met deze Harry Potter. Ik wil niet grap zijn, maar het is een motherfucker. Ik zeg echt niet, zo kan het echt niet. Wat ik voor me zie is een moderne bandiet. Die zijn ook op straat, maar zo weinig niet. Het beleid van nu is een groot stuk verdriet. Dus doe ik liever business dan praat ik maar wie. De as van het paard vind je niet langer op straat, maar in het apparaat, er is geen te verlaat. Wanneer de land vergaat, geen liedje met je maat. Het beleid van nu is een groep misdaad. De as van het paard vind je niet langer op straat, maar in het apparaat, er is geen te verlaat. Wanneer de land vergaat, geen liedje met je maat. Het beleid van nu spijt alleen maar hard. Want ik zeg wat ik zie, ben je het eens of niet? Ik berg me erop als inwoner van de Unie. Te zeggen wat ik wil, al weet je niet chill. Voor mij geen verschil, want je benodigt een bril. Om te kunnen zien, dat lukt het misschien. Het lijkt niet zelf zo dat je minder verdient. Dus snap wat ik zeg, wat ik heb uitgelegd. Het is geen fantasie, maar het is gewoon echt. Verzorg is dat is weg, wie niet mee kan niet weg. Dat is toch geen recht, een leven als vecht. Ja, 1/3 arm en niks om de arm. Je wint zwaar de kouder, maar niks houdt ze warm. Geen voedsel in de darm, dat is geen charme. Dus zeg me niet, doe kalm, zonder geld in de palm is er geen strohalm. Niet iedereen is zo rijk als Salom. Ik zeg wat ik zie, want ik ben een man met ballen. Als je mij vraagt, zit het kwaad in Den Haag. Wie het niet ziet is traag. Het is de burger die de maatschappij draagt. Maar het gaat zeer moeilijk op alleen gemaakt. De as van de kaart vind je niet langer op straat, maar in het apparaat.
Night?
No, not last night. It was like how many weeks ago?
Okay.
That's why it's not like, really showing out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why is it you guys so unique that there's a lot of blonde hair people like you around here?
I don't know, but I think it's like the islanders. Actually, they say some of us inherit our genes from New Ireland and
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, is it from New Ireland mostly,
Yeah.
you think?
But actually, all New Islands and East New Britain, some of them are blonde. So
Why is it only this area and not other areas?
I don't know.
The food or is it the water?
I'll just guess. I think it's the sea or something.
That's what people are saying.
And when you see New Ireland people, they're really blonde. Us to here, if you're from pure East New Britain and New Ireland.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on. You're going to be in the video too. Shout out to her. Okay, how you doing? Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
What's your name
welcome.
again? Because people are going to want to know.
Ida.
You have a TikTok or something?
Yes.
Say it.
Pia at TikTok. And I'm not on Facebook.
See, the majority of the time, yes, yes. It's stupid because
Yeah.
the majority, 90%,
Do you look Dominican?
I don't.
What do you look like?
Like a white boy.
What's it like to feel Dominican?
Is that like a good question and stuff? Yeah.
I
Okay.
hope. I hope.
Está bien. Well, no, for me, it's different. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know.
Let me ask you something regarding feeling Dominican. So you feel Dominican, although you don't even know what it means to feel Dominican. Let me ask you this.
Whoa.
That's
I
what
did
you
not
just
say I don't know what to feel Dominican. You just said that out of nowhere.
I said, what is it like
I
to feel
know how to
Dominican? And
feel
you said,
Dominican
I don't know how to
because
explain.
I just said that I feel Dominican.
And I said, what does it feel like to be Dominican? You said, como que I don't know how to say.
Yeah.
Do you think a black person that's Dominican of Dominican Republic feels what you feel?
Of course.
A black person in Dominican Republic experiences the same type of life and treatment in Dominican Republic than you?
Yes. Because I lived it, papi. Listen,
You lived being black in Dominican Republic?
I lived amongst blacks in Dominican Republic.
So because you lived around black, you know what they've experienced?
Everything that I know is from black Dominicans in Dominican Republic.
But you know what they've experienced and you know how they felt as they experienced living there.
Papi, if you're not Dominican like me, if you haven't been in Dominican Republic, that question it's not relevant.
There is racism in Dominican Republic. There is some. Can you give me some examples of racism in the DR,
Okay,
please?
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Mi abuela es dominicana, mi abuela me dice, óyeme, mi hijo, no te cases con gente morena, no te cases con gente negra. Mi abuela. Yeah.
Could you translate that to English? Translate it to English?
My grandma be like, mijo, don't marry a black person because I'm white.
Huh? What's the problem with you marrying a black person?
She say, you know what she say? To refine the race.
Give me more examples of racism in DR, please.
Yeah, they don't like Haitian people.
So your grandma tells you, don't get with a black woman because we have to mejorar la raza.
Mejorar la raza.
Right.
Según mi abuela.
Obviously, there's something wrong with being black. Obviously. That mentality exists there.
Of course.
Because we are acknowledging that mentality exists where being black is, that means that black people experience life different there then.
Sí.
Ideas about how to fix Black America.
And yes, they come in both skin tones. My only disappointment is the fact that in my heart of hearts, I believed that only the left was this capable of this much racism. Telling me I can't speak on Black American issues because I'm an immigrant is very hypocritical.
All right, can somebody please tell me why these Africans have so many ideas about how to fix Black America and how to fix America, but they can't even fix their own countries? They can't even fix Angola. They can't even fix Ghana. They can't fix Nigeria. They can't fix Jamaica. They can't fix Haiti. God knows they can't fix Haiti because that has been a hot mess for generations. You come over here, insert yourself into Black American issues, and by the way, use everything that we have fought for and built for to go insert yourself into places, but that quite frankly you have not earned. All right? So
because why can't I speak on them? I'm also an American, just as much as you. As much as you hate to hear that, is the truth. I have an American passport. I love this country. Do you love this country? You might. But then why try to gatekeep it from me? You did not give me my nationality or my citizenship. I did that by myself. You did not pay for me to come here. You did not pay for any visa fees, or my ticket, or my USCIS fees, or my nationalization fees, or my green card renewal fees. You didn't do anything for me. Nothing. I owe you nothing. But feeling like I owe you is a problem for me. Anyone living in America should be able to speak on anything American. Any legal person, legal resident.
Found out that, those people are my.
You being a Dominican, from your understanding, why do you think it is that a lot of black people in Dominican Republic claim that they're not black, from your understanding?
The reason that we don't embrace our blackness and we hide from it is because we're ashamed of it and we don't want to embrace it. I was brainwashed to believe, and I was one of those fellow Dominicans that was like that. Oh, I know black, but we are black. But it's so normalized and we're so hurt from the past, of course, and we're so brainwashed and still traumatized that we don't want to embrace that. We've been taught that the darker you are, the eviler you are.
In your opinion,
We ain't kind of Nigeria. Thank you very much for your cordiality.
From the air, I could see Makoko, the third mainland bridge, and Ikoyi, all places we've already been. It's 500 miles and 90 minutes by plane from tropical Lagos to dusty Kano, Nigeria's second city.
So is this your car hire?
Yeah.
My driver's coming. He's late. He's at the car wash.
You can get seat here.
Thank you. Nagode. With Ibrahim, having a cup of tea.
Thank you very much.
Would you like one?
Whatever you
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Can we get one more tea, please?
Thank you very much for your cordiality.
Yaiki.
Aiki Lafiano. I'm from Cotonou State.
Same as former President Buhari.
Of course, Buhari is my schoolmate. He's my senior in secondary school. Wow. He knows me personally, and I know him personally.
What do you think of his record?
He is one of the best presidents we have in Nigeria because he's honest. He's not a thief at all.
Perfect. Nagode.
Before we eat food, being a Muslim, I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which means in the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. You are welcome to Kano. I hope you are staying in Kano will make a progress to the Kano and Nigeria as well.
I hope so.
We'll see you next.
Mr. Musa, he's come to pick me up from the airport in his very smart Hilux.
The ancient city of Kano, capital of Kano State, is home to over 4.5 million people. Founded by the Hausa in 999, Kano flourished under the legendary king Bagauda. With its strategic location on the trans-Saharan trade routes, camel caravans brought wealth in the form of leather, cotton, salt, and even slaves, transforming Kano into a major commercial hub in West Africa. By the 1340s, Islamic scholars from the Mali Empire introduced Islam, establishing Kano as a center for Islamic learning and culture. The city's influence grew further in 1804 when the Fulani Jihad led to the rise of the first emir, Sulemanu. By the 1820s, Kano was the greatest commercial power in West Africa.
Page 187, Yehudi. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who subscribes. El Bryce. The Hausa, in the center of the continent and the finest province of Negroland, a black nation has been met with by travelers whose origin is traced with great probability through its language to the Semitic family. They are the Guber or Hausa speaking the Hausa language. Until this century, they possess an important empire in Katsina, Kano, and other neighboring provinces. Remains of the nation are found as far north as Aspen. A large portion of the brown and black tribes of northern Africa has been shown belong to the same family that which first originated commerce, which invented the alphabet, produced the sublime Hebrew poetry and Arabian science, and which was through many ages in one of its branches the especial medium fitted by providence for transmitting the most elevated religious inspiration to mankind, and in which the divine manifestation of Jesus Christ was made. the Semitic Negro can certainly never be considered by the worshippers under a Semitic religion as inferior in blood to themselves. An account of Timbuktu and Hausa territories in the interior of Africa by James Gray Jackson, 1820. Page 187. Yehudi, a place of great trade. This place is reported to be inhabited by one of the lost tribes of Israel, possibly an immigration from the tribe of Judah. Yehuda in African Arabic signifies Judah. Yehudi signifies Jew. It is not impossible that many of the lost tribes of Israel may be found dispersed in the interior regions of Africa. When we shall become better acquainted with that continent, it is certain that some of the nations that possessed the country eastward of Palestine, when the Israelites were a favored nation, have immigrated to Africa. The Jew, a Negro, being a study of the Jewish ancestry by Arthur T. Abernathy, 1910. The effort of the author is to prove herein by evidence from history showing the intermingling of the Jewish race with those of other races, and these in turn with still other races, together forming a miscellaneous intermingling of racial affinities, that the Jew of today, as well as his ancestors in other times, is the kinsman and descendant of the Negro, holding the Negro's features and characteristics through the long years of racial transmutation, and in spite of the Jewish intermarriages into other races, which fact is so thoroughly established by history. Dr. Maurice Fishberg, himself a Jew, an ethnologist, an anthropologist of wide repute, and others have proved that the ancient Jews were distinctly African in type. The general of the excavation and antiquities of Egypt declared that if their subjects were alive today, they could not fail to recognize their old sovereigns. And yet to those of us who have observed the features of Negro corpses, especially those who have been subjected to the unusual methods of execution known to the South, there is a striking suggestion of the similarity between these mummies and the Negroes of today. Examined ethnically, the outline of the Hebrews are plainly discernible. The Destiny of Nations, as indicated in prophecy by the Reverend John Cummings, 1864. Dr. Moore, in his very learned and interesting work, The Lost Tribes, a work very suggestive of future scenes as well as illustrative of ancient facts, observes, there are multitudes of Jews in every variety of condition in the north of Africa, but there are probably more of the Hebrew race far within the interior, about Timbuktu and the Lake Chad, and still further to the south. To the latter we shall look for the traces of their connection with the lost tribes. It is well known that the Ga and other Negro tribes have numerous, well-marked Jewish characters in their religious observances. A paper by Mr. Hanson, a native preacher, read before the British Association of Science at Swansea, 1848, leaves no doubt of this fact. Now, unless we suppose that the Hebrews were derived from the interior of Africa, we must suppose that the Hebrews have penetrated there and thence diffused the elements of civilization. West African Countries and Peoples, A Vindication of the African Race by James Africanus, 1868. But when Mohammedanism overspread northern Africa, destroying by fire and sword all those of another religion, The Israelitish descendants, or the inhabitants occupying the central portion of Africa, passed forward seeking shelter to the south and west. A part, namely those from the east central, crossing the Benue or Joliba branch of the Niger, descended gradually southward and became intermingled with the original inhabitants, protected from incursions on the north by the Benue River, and quietly settled between the Great Niger and Old Calabar rivers. They remained in peace and grew from one generation to another in idolatry, but still leaving tangible proofs in the form of their religion of the Judaistic origin of the inhabitants.
This is my news of today by Remi Djalis, live from the Netherlands, Europe. The secret plot to capture Nicolas Maduro, a failed American operation. It reads like a Hollywood spy thriller. A secret mission, a high-value target, and a daring attempt that never took off. On one side, a decorated Venezuelan pilot, the man who flew President Nicolas Maduro to Moscow, Tehran, and Havana. On the other, a U.S. federal agent, a former Army Ranger turned Homeland Security operative. The mission: bribe the Venezuelan president's pilot to divert Maduro's plane mid-flight and deliver him into American hands. The promise: a new identity, safety, and wealth beyond imagination. The goal: regime change without firing a single shot. Thus began one of the most audacious covert operations in modern U.S. Venezuela history. A secret recruitment effort that blurred the line between geopolitics and espionage fantasy. To Washington, this pilot wasn't just a man behind the controls. He was the Achilles heel, someone who knew every runway Maduro trusted, every emergency procedure, every decoy route to avoid capture. If you can't invade, indict, or intimidate, you flip the person holding the joystick. For 16 months, American agents pursued him through encrypted chats, coded messages, and whispered promises. They offered him a way out, but what they got instead was silence. The pilot vanished, ghosting his handlers, and the mission collapsed into nothing. When persuasion failed, the Americans tried another tactic: psychological warfare. A few leaked photos, a mocking tweet, and rumors designed to make Caracas question its own man. Had the pilot switched sides? Was he secretly working for Washington? For a brief moment, the world held its breath. The presidential jet took off, looped around, and returned to base. Online conspiracy theories exploded. Had he been arrested? Was there a coup attempt in the air? Days later, the pilot reappeared. Alive, loyal, and defiant. On Venezuelan state television, flanked by military hardliners. He raised his fist in solidarity with the revolution. The message was clear: the Americans had failed. Beneath the cloak and dagger theatrics lies a deeper truth. This wasn't just about one pilot. It was a glimpse into a shadow war between Washington and Caracas. A struggle waged through sanctions, disinformation, and covert plots. Since 2024, tensions between the United States and Venezuela have quietly escalated. Under President Donald Trump, Washington intensified its pressure campaign. Navy ships were sent to the Caribbean. CIA operations were quietly authorized, and the bounty on Maduro's head was doubled to $50 million. It was regime change as spectacle, loud, unpredictable, and headline-driven. Economic chokeholds, cyber operations, and propaganda blended into one aggressive push to isolate Caracas. Venezuela, meanwhile, accused the United States of fabricating another eternal war. Maduro claimed Washington was inventing a conflict to justify its own aggression, and called for the mobilization of South American nations to resist foreign interference. In the end, no plane was diverted. No coup unfolded at 30,000 feet. Just another covert operation, grounded by reality. But the story isn't over. Iras and Venezuela tensions remain high, and the next chapter is already taxiing down the runway. Because in the modern age of politics and espionage, the line between fiction and fact has never been thinner. This is Remi Djalis, your window into what really matters. My next news for today is Brazil's deadliest police operation, 132 dead in Rio de Janeiro raid. by Remi Djalis. Now to Brazil, a nation in shock after what's being called the deadliest police operation in its history. More than 130 people have been killed in a massive raid across Rio de Janeiro's favelas. What began as a mission to dismantle one of Brazil's most violent criminal gangs ended in a bloodbath. Among the dead are alleged gang members, but also civilians, men, women, and even young people caught in the crossfire. Drone footage shows rows of bodies at Rio's Medical Legal Institute. Officials claim the operation was a success, that weapons and narcotics were seized. But critics say this was not justice. This was a massacre. The raid targeted the Comando Vermelho or Red Command, one of Brazil's most powerful and feared gangs. They deal in drugs, weapons, and extortion, and their reach extends far beyond Rio, even into parts of the Amazon region. For months, police and military intelligence planned the operation. 2 days ago, over 2,500 officers and soldiers stormed 2 neighborhoods, the Penha and Alameo complexes. The plan was to push the gang into a nearby forested area, where special forces waited in ambush. But the plan fell apart. Gunfire erupted, chaos took over, and by nightfall 132 people were dead. Some were indeed gang operatives, but locals insist that many others were innocent residents, trapped in their homes or on the streets as bullets flew. Families laid bodies out under white sheets. Protesters gathered outside government buildings, chanting assassinos, murderers. The governor of Rio de Janeiro called it a historic success, saying more than a ton of drugs and over 100 weapons had been seized. He praised the police, insisting that the operation was necessary to restore order. But Brazil's president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, was not even informed beforehand. Lula says he was horrified by the scale of the killings and has demanded answers. The Supreme Court has now ordered the governor of Rio to explain how the operation was approved and why the death toll was so high. A senior government official told reporters that President Lula was shocked both by the violence and by the lack of federal coordination, a sign of how disconnected Brazil's security forces have become from the civilian government. The Red Command has a long and brutal history. It was born inside Brazil's prisons decades ago, and has since grown into a network controlling entire neighborhoods, even collecting taxes and enforcing their own rules in areas the state has abandoned. But this raid has reopened old wounds in a country where police violence has long been a national crisis. In 2021, a similar operation in Rio left 29 people dead. This time, the toll is more than 4 times higher. Schools were closed, shops shuttered their doors, and in the favelas, fear hangs thick in the air. Residents ask, who is really protecting us? The United Nations has condemned the killings, calling for an independent investigation into possible human rights violations. Meanwhile, Brazil heads into elections next year, and national security has quickly become one of the country's most divisive issues. Polls show that nearly half of Brazilians believe violence has worsened since Lula's return to power. His government says it understands the need to fight organized crime.
We have
But
already
critics
mentioned
warn
the
that the methods
existence
being
of Jewish
used are only
practices
deepening
in
mistrust
Western
and
Africa.
terror in poor communities.
Circumcision prevails in both North and South Guinea, but whether it is of Egyptian or Jewish origin, it is impossible to say. Some traces of the Jewish religion are more fully developed in the northern and others in the southern region. The division of tribes into 12 families, as among the Grebos, the divisions of time into 7 days, and the observance of lucky and unlucky days, as among the Fontes and Ashantis, the observance of new moons, the offering of blood sacrifices, and the sprinkling of blood upon the doorposts and altars, and having a house of refuge to which an offender may fly, and the security of falling upon the altar, and in having a distinct priesthood, are practices that are more fully developed in northern than southern Guinea. On the other hand, we have in southern Guinea demonical possessions, prescribed forms and times for mourning for the dead, rules pertaining to cleanliness, purifications, and various other things of similar character, more or less clearly developed. In both cases, these things are attended to without any clear idea of their import. If asked what they mean or why they are observed, the answer generally is that our fathers did it.
So now he's making a little threat. When I sat in that meeting with them, I told them, while I make this little video here, guys, I wouldn't be surprised the police are at his door today, because I was informed they're gonna pay him a visit as well. He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Umar Johnson is not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay? It upset me. Okay? But there's no fear here. Now, I'm not going to sit here and you guys go, oh my God, she's playing some tough guy. No. Everybody. No one. This implied to everybody. No one's above an ass whipping. No one's above a bullet. We've seen that. If President catch a bullet, you, me, any of us can catch a bullet. So now he's making a little threat. When I sat in that meeting with them, I told them, I'm going to come out and said, I got the settlement. I'm going to come out and share that I had this meeting. And I did. So now you're trying to move and code? You're trying to threaten me? Like, no, sir, we're not going to have that. And you know what, family? I'm going to continue to speak the way I speak. I'm going to continue to move the way I move. I had 3 family members like, you know what? Maybe this YouTube thing, you need to just like shut it down. No, I will not. No, I will not. No, I will not. I will not be bullied or intimidated by him from afar. No, that's not happening. Listen, I'm going to give you one of my little weaknesses.
Discuss them with you. Let's start at the very beginning. Today, it is widely accepted, but this was not always the case. About 30 years ago, suggesting that Africa could truly be the cradle of humanity seemed a far-fetched idea, and it took considerable intellectual courage to propose such a thought. Since then, research has advanced, and we now know that Africa is indeed the birthplace of humanity. You might say that the cradle of humanity has been described as a cradle on wheels, moving from one continent to another. Initially, it was placed in Asia for reasons rooted in biblical tradition and appearances. Asia was seen as the home of the 3 races, black, white, and yellow, and biblical tradition also placed the cradle of humanity there. Early archaeologists like Marcelin Boule and others attempted to verify biblical accuracy by undertaking excavations in Mesopotamia to prove the occurrence of events like the flood. In Asia, they found the Pithecanthropus fossils, which, despite being scant evidence, were enough to claim that the cradle of humanity was in Asia. However, as research intensified, it became apparent that Africa, rather than Asia, should be considered the starting point. This was not a completely new idea, as even Darwin had suggested that humanity might have originated in Africa. Today, the fossils and other archaeological findings in Africa leave no doubt about this. Africa is the cradle of humanity. Once the cradle was placed in Africa, it never left. Every day, new discoveries in prehistory and prehistoric archaeology reinforce the fact that Africa is indeed the birthplace of humanity. 6 specimens of early humans, or proto-humans, were born in Africa. While the term human may not be entirely appropriate for all of them, for the sake of illustration, let's say that 6 types of early humans originated there. The first 3, Australopithecus robustus, Australopithecus gracilis, and Homo habilis, did not, according to current research, have enough expansion potential to leave Africa. However, the other 3 did migrate out of the continent and went on to populate other regions.
Nieuw, Danone Skier. 0% vet en rijk aan proteïne.
That left Africa were Homo erectus, who appeared in Africa around 2 million years ago. Homo neanderthalensis, known as the Neanderthals, and Homo sapiens, the modern human species. These three varieties of early humans left Africa to populate the rest of the world. Homo erectus, for instance, likely began leaving Africa around 1.7 million years ago. There were two main exit routes, one via the Sinai Peninsula, the Isthmus of Suez, and the other through the Strait of Gibraltar. These routes were utilized by the first humans born in the East African region, encompassing Ethiopia, Kenya.
Fire spit man a place, we no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Judge fire we a place, yeah we come condemn. Fire we a joke them. Fire spit man a place, we no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Judge fire we a place, yeah we come for them. Fire me place, judge me a praise, higher case come boom like the bass. For it is what it is, me a burn up the place. Yes man want see the light, so me don't on the gift, let me praise me a cool. That's why I a glaze like ice, me a fire boat, smoke them a gift. Yeah, in order to die first, you will have to live. Don't you act if you don't know, cause this is my place. In a place you a think, but you down on the this. Every time me a spit tune, I come and get pissed. Me a fire like lava and cooler than fish. Yes, stupid motherfucker, none of them I don't dig. Yeah, fire me a spit, me a break them like a click. Yes, fires these niggas keep acting like this. Hey yo, fire we a jokey them. Fire spit man a place, we no friend for them. Many man come test, they will know we can. Judge fire we a place, yeah we come condemn. Fire we a jokey them. Fire spit man a place, we no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Judge fire we a place, yeah we come. Yeah man, anyone a test me, now never live a rest. Do your best, nothing less. Man step up now me nest. Them a think them a best, but big is not the best. Original bantan, me a sure me not get. Me a burn at the east, man burn at the west. Yes, if you know me bring me a best. Any best, pull it best, any fly up, no they will crash. Got them like X, yo, stick them like that. Yeah, man, anything me do must be worthy for the press. You can press, this fire keeps any compress. Like the plague, like the best. Me not comfy contest, me not comfy compete. Really come down to steez, fire breeze, play for keeps. This is SPIT, skill for steel masterpiece. So the peeps, them I see, whom bleed, whom peace, who I go down the knees. Yo, fire we a blaze. Jaja inferno of praise. Fire me a blaze. Jaja still them burn the place. Hey yo, fire we a jokey them. Fire spit man a blaze, me no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Jaja fire we a blaze, yeah we come condemn. Fire we a jokey them. Fire spit man a blaze, me no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Jaja fire we a blaze, yeah we come to them. Fire we a jokey them. Fire spit man a blaze, me no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Jaja fire we a blaze, yeah we come condemn. Fire we a jokey them. Fire spit man a blaze, me no friend for them. Any man come test, they will know we can. Jaja fire we a blaze, yeah we come to them.